What's up, guys? So today's video is one of my story times, and this is going to sort of start off a bit of a mini series as far as story time videos go, because I'm going to be talking over the next couple of months when I do my story time videos. I'm going to be talking about sort of my film career as it stands, because I have a fair few pretty good stories actually when it comes to my film career, but I'm going to start off at the beginning. Chronology is kind of a thing at the moment since I'm rewatching the MCU chronologically, at least near enough to what I can tell is chronological. So yeah, we're gonna jump in our little time machines and go back to 2011. Let's go. Alright, so in 2011, I was still in school. I was still a little baby. And that is when I started studying my Cert 3 in film. Now in 2011, 2012, while I was studying, I made, I want to say 3. I feel like it might have been 4. I feel like it might have been 4 short films. None of them really had names, but our first one that we did, I feel like this was definitely 2011. Our first one we did was, my friend and I were the talent in front of the camera. Mind you, this is also the same year that I started doing drama and sort of coming out of my shell, getting a bit more confident as far as like public speaking, etc. is concerned. And now look at me, I make videos on the internet. So that's sort of in the same era that we're talking. So like it was kind of a big deal to get in front of the camera to begin with. But that film was, I believe we ended up calling that one The Heist, pretty much because that's what it was. It was 2 characters sort of very much non-verbally, if I remember correctly, deciding whether or not to rob a bank. And it was just our luck that there was a perfect part of the main street where we had a chair that we were able to sit on, where one of the banks in town was actually right behind it. So we were able to sort of set the camera up and film in that direction, and it sort of worked out really well. From memory, we had a really good director for this one. One of the other people that had started the film course that year with us was particularly talented. So yeah, it was really cool that we had such a good director. And I'm pretty sure that film came out really well, actually. The next one from memory was a similar instance in that the film was non-verbal, like there was no speaking roles, and also because we had, like, the basic storyline was there was like a big decision to make, whereas in The Heist it was like whether or not to rob a bank. In this one it was what to do about, I think the whole issue, question was like teen pregnancy, and what to do about it or whatnot. And so that was kind of an interesting one. As of yet, I haven't found a way to slide that into my comprehensive fictional universe, but remembering it now means that I'm probably going to find a spot for it. And the other one that I remember us making was a script assignment, not so much actually filming and editing, although obviously being that there were things in the course that needed to be like at a certain standard to pass. We did also edit, like film and edit it, but we used one of the like workshops that was like just down the hall from the computer lab we were using. I had this cool little corner, like no one was in there when we were doing the film classes, and there was this cool little corner off to one side that had was sort of like separate but not, if you know what I mean. So we had windows on one side, we had another natural light source coming from the other side, and sort of in the middle of the room there was this like see-through red plastic curtain. So we decided to film on the side that had the most natural light, because that saved on needing a lighting rig, and then we just set up another sort of light from behind the red plastic curtain to give this really eerie sort of fill light, which looked really cool. And considering that the entire plot basically for that story, like that film, was someone being interrogated by the mob, the whole just aesthetic really worked. And it's probably like there was I can't remember anything else that happens in it other than that it's like basically just your average interrogation scene, but I do remember that visually it was just spectacular. I was really happy to have worked on that. And then I really feel like there was a fourth one. At the end of year 12, at the end of 2012, I was sort of halfway to the end, I made a short film for my HSC, Major Work for Drama, which was fun. I ended up getting a couple of really, really high quality actors from like, I couldn't work with people in my own year, but the year 10 group at the time was just phenomenal. So I ended up getting some really good actors from like the drama classes in the year 10 group, and then had like some family involvement as well, what with my brother having already done the Cert 3 and my father being a computer teacher. Was able to get some family involvement as well, which really helped. And yeah, probably not my greatest film, but I did have a lot of fun making that. I got to do some stunts myself, despite not, you know, being one of the actors myself. And yeah, so now that I think about it, that's probably why I didn't get so many marks on that. Pretty sure I was supposed to be in the film as well, and I wasn't. You're gonna have to have a relook at that. Maybe it's got me thinking now. But yeah, I'm sure there was another one we did with the TAFE class. I can't think of it. There probably undoubtedly is one, and I just can't think of it at the moment. But other things that we did included, there was a Battle of the Bands on in the park during one of those years that we filmed. was for like the local towns, like youth festival, which for some reason died off since then. But we filmed the Battle of the Bands, and I distinctly remember one day coming into class, and for some reason the sound had gone out of sync, and I had to. I can't remember if it was from the sound bar or from the like the audio bar or the video bar, but I had to take off like the very slightest amount to get them to sync up, and managed to do it first go. Got it perfectly synced up, which has just been one of the skills that I've had since when editing on a computer, mind. I can't really do that on the phone, but on the computer when I've got like all the different levels of video and audio, I'm able to make things sync up fairly well, sort of first go. And if I don't get it first go, I definitely get it second go. I just sort of have I have an ear for it, I guess. And then another thing that happened, I'm sure it was during, that might be 2013, but I think it was the only thing I did in 2013, was also to do with the film festival, and I actually helped, I'm sure it was 2013, helped Jason Van Genderen and Shane Ammett, who were judges for the film festival for that year. They had come, and they also, after being asked very nicely, made a documentary to help us, so that we could present it to like businesses and stuff when we were applying for funding for the festival for the following year. And it was sort of like our ad for it. I remember rocking up at 8:30 for the festival that morning, not knowing that they were filming the documentary. Got there, saw that they were talking to my TAFE teacher, walked over, said, good morning, hello, and got asked to help out. And I was like, I'm at a film festival, I'm going to make a film, why not? So I ended up holding like one of the big reflector boards to get light onto my TAFE teacher's face, to help light up her face. And then after that bit, there wasn't really anything to do for like another hour, so I just sort of wandered around saying good morning to people as they turned up. And then once the like school kids and stuff had turned up and started doing their like workshops and stuff, we went around, and anyone that wasn't doing a workshop that we needed to interview for the documentary, we did their interviews at various different locations. And yeah, for the most part I was doing simple things like holding the microphone, or yeah, just simple little jobs that just make the whole thing come out better, I guess. And by the end of the day, and this is one of the things that I've done that my best friend is, at least last time I checked, jealous of me for, is that by the end of the day, I was able to actually operate the camera for this documentary with Jason Van Genderen, which was pretty cool. It was good to sort of be acknowledged for having helped out pretty much the whole day. And yeah, so that's sort of all I've got for this one. I want to sort of keep some of the other good stories for later, and also because I did film a version where I told all of my stories. It was like 45 minutes long or something, and my phone wouldn't let me render the film so I can upload it. So we will have to have a little mini series where I tell you about my other, like I got like another 3 or 4 that I can do in this series, we'll see how we go. But yeah, that's all I've got for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. If you want to see or hear my other stories to do with my film career, make sure to hit that subscription button and the notification bell so that you are alerted when I upload a new video. I will leave a link to that documentary that we made in the description down below, as well as all my social media links. Make sure you check those out too. Give me a follow on my Instagram, my Tumblr, my Twitter. On my Instagram, I do mainly like landscape photographies. I'm trying to get into other types of photography. I'm wanting to branch out and flex photography muscles that haven't been flexed in a while. My Tumblr is where I write short stories, so if you like my Storytime videos, it's kind of the same thing, just in text format, and they're fictional stories that come out of my brain and not actual real-world experiences that I've had. And then my Twitter, at the moment, I'm only really tweeting what film I'm watching for my MCU rewatch. Today I'm doing Avengers and Item 47, the one-shot that comes pretty much immediately after Avengers. And yeah, I think that's everything. So until next time, guys, night to A2, and I will check you later.